Hi everyone, welcome to the Icehouse Podcast. I'm Bryar Stewart, the Community Manager at the Icehouse, and today we have Celia Crosbie with us. Celia is the Managing Director at Scope Media and has recently finished our Leadership Development Program. Scope Media connects brands with audiences through personal networking, strategic communication and content creation, and also highly targeted digital marketing, helping you share your stories with the world. I like that line because I thought, awesome, now it's my opportunity to help share Celia's story with the world. So welcome, Celia. Good to have you on the podcast.
Thank you, Bryar. It's great to be here.
Awesome. I love starting with some quick fire questions. So the first one is ideal holiday.
Right. Well, my immediate thoughts go back to just before the pandemic. I was lucky enough to go to Bali with a client staying at Pondok Santi Estate. That's a shout out for AJ Hackett's resort on one of the Gili Islands. It's just magic, just beautiful, luxurious, remote and peaceful, tranquil and hot. And yeah, just really chance to get have a relax and see some wonderful things.
So cool. That's a great answer. Well, this flows nicely to the next one. When are you most relaxed?
I have to say it would be the complete opposite of that, and that would be camping. Yeah, setting up camp, and my favourite camping spot is Glendhu Bay in Wanaka, and so just making sure once the campsite's all set up and just relaxing with friends and being able to have a few drinks and watch the kids run around, and of course boating on Lake Wanaka.
Oh, that sounds magic too. That's awesome. Do you have a book or podcast that you recommend people should read or listen?
I have one favourite actually. I really enjoy the No Bullshit Leadership podcast by Martin Moore. He's an Aussie ex-CEO and helps leaders with short. I really like the format of the podcast and of course the content. I've been told to read a couple of books. I don't have the authors' names, but Atomic Habits is one book and Negotiate Without Fear is the other, which I've been recently recommended to get that book by one of the Icehouse alumni. So I'm looking forward to starting those two.
Yeah, great recommendations there. So good. First ever job.
That would be a paper round.
Nice.
And delivering newspapers and flyers, and I hated it, but I stuck it out for a couple of years, and then I progressed to work on a checkout in a supermarket for $4.28 an hour.
Wow. That's crazy. That and the milk run is our most popular answers. That's for sure, definitely.
You've got to start somewhere.
Yeah, that's it. Morning or night person?
I'm a bit of both actually. I do my exercise in the morning because that's the only time I get a chance during the day. But since having children, I've trained myself to work by necessity at night. So I'm quite productive at night, but it's not an ideal habit that I want to, maintain.
Yeah, totally. No, being a bit of both is a good thing. No, it's good. Coffee order?
It would have to be a cappuccino.
Nice. Were you born with your strengths or have you learned them?
I'm naturally inquisitive, so which I got told off at high school for asking too many questions. So I'm a former journalist, so that's part of I guess been always with me.
Yeah.
I'm also empathetic, and I guess that's a combination of genetics, but also I was brought up to being told to treat others as you would like to be treated yourself.
Awesome.
So that's really something I've applied from a personal level, but also professionally.
Great answer.
I'm also competitive, but I've worked hard to achieve my goals over the years, and there've been a few setbacks over the time, but I've taught myself to see the challenges as opportunities, and just to work hard to actually achieve the things you want to happen to achieve.
That's so cool. I love that answer, and flows nicely into sort of the first bigger question, I guess. Tell us a bit about yourself. Who is Celia?
Yeah, as a journalist, I always hated talking about myself, so always happy to ask questions about others. But I'm a mum. I'm a wife, I'm a business owner, and I'm 40, so recently celebrated a 40th birthday. We have 2 children, my husband and I. Charlotte is almost 9 and Ollie is almost 7. I really enjoy the busyness of this stage of life. I enjoy cooking and baking, running the children around every day after school to their various activities. I enjoy shopping and catching up with friends, so social side of things is really important to me too. I guess part of my career now is being a mum has sort of helped define me as a person too, and but conversely, when becoming a mother, I lost a lot of confidence in my own. It sort of coincided with a career change from going into journalism, moving as being a news journalist through to communications, and so I lost a lot of confidence at that point in time, and so yeah, I'm also learning to manage imposter syndrome.
Yeah, that's such a great answer, and yeah, thanks for being so real with us on the podcast already, because it is definitely a major life shift. And I've heard a lot of other female business owners and leaders that I've interviewed talk about that sort of point where they have to rework out what their career looks like, kind of a losing of themselves a bit to find themselves again and come back stronger in the best case. So looking forward to unpacking that a bit more, but appreciate that.
Cool.
So from there, what has your career journey looked like? You were a news reporter, a journalist.
Yeah.
What did it look like?
So I wanted to be a journalist from the age of 16, and
wow.
So I grew up in Christchurch. So the obvious choice was to go to Canterbury University, and I wanted to end up in TV, but that was sort of a later realization, because after I did my undergrad at Canterbury University, and I did a Bachelor of Arts in English and Mass Communication, and then did postgraduate diploma in journalism in Wellington. But I didn't get into I didn't get into Canterbury University postgrad journalism school, and then thinking about broadcast school was a big call for me, because it would be another 3 years and another tens of thousands of dollars in another degree. So I pursued a postgraduate diploma in journalism at Massey in Wellington, and really enjoyed that and learned a lot, switching from academic writing through to writing as a news journalist. My first job I landed was before just a fill-in role. I worked for News Talk ZB in Christchurch before taking a full-time job in Levin for the Horowhenua Kapiti Chronicle. And I got to do some really cool stuff there. I was the local government reporter and the health reporter, so get to cover some pretty cool rounds and meet some amazing people. And that took me through to, I applied for a job down in Wanaka to work for the Otago Daily Times, and that was back in 2005 when I moved here. And I worked for the ODT for a couple of years, and then met Hamish, my husband. We decided to go and do an OE in London, and so I left my job and Hamish left his, he was able to come back to his. I wasn't, but we went to London, and I worked as a journalist for industry magazines. I did a day for the News of the World with a lot of the guys who were subsequently imprisoned over the phone hacking scandal. I was able to do work for some major. I also worked for a global transport and highways consultancy, doing comms in that role as well. I came back to Hamish and I came back to Wanaka in 2008, and I got a job for Mountain Scene, working and commuting over from Wanaka to Queenstown every day.
Wow.
And that was really where had such a huge impact on my career experience. That was working with some amazing people and getting to really know how to tell a story properly, working with the best in the business, really.
Wow.
So I shouldn't say that, because there are a lot of people, but some of the people I did work with that have gone on to, and they have amazing careers.
Awesome.
So I also worked a little bit I supplied as a stringer for the Herald on Sunday, Radio Live, as well as my main full-time job at Mountain Scene. And then Hamish and I decided to start having a family, got married, got pregnant, and I knew that commuting every day wasn't going to be an option to Queenstown from Wanaka every day. So I thought, well, I may as well give it a go and set up my own thing. Originally, it was going to be a website copywriting business, but I soon realised that wasn't going to be a viable option. So I decided to make the move into communications. And I remember when my old editor at the time saying to me, what have you got to lose, Celia? I had just recently won an award. I won Best Senior Journalist at the Community Newspapers Association Awards.
Cool.
And he said, yeah, I mean, this is your opportunity, really. What have you got to lose? You can always go back. I didn't go back. I really do love news media, but I also have found a new passion and growing a career in communications. So yeah, I set up Scope Media 8 weeks before having Charlotte.
Wow.
I was doing I remember organising a media pitch for the Sunday Star Times for a client after being induced on the hospital bed.
That's crazy.
Getting a bit personal here, but yeah, it's really I knew that I wouldn't go into comms, or I wouldn't be able to set up my own business if I didn't just give it a go straight away. I couldn't have some time off and return to it. Unfortunately, I have a tendency to procrastinate at times, and also I knew, and I never realized that having children was going to mean that I'd lose so much confidence in my own ability. And so I'm really pleased that I did do that and just took the bull by the horns and set it up. So over that time, we've just really grown the team, and like-minded individuals have joined the team. I really focus on bringing people together who are better than me. That's I love encouraging other people to really shine in their own strengths, and I always believe that we're greater than the sum of our parts, the whole entity. So yeah, so that was 9 years ago this month, actually, in June. So we we have a team of 4 looking for a 5th, and we were in an office for the last year. We've really just it's been a really cool journey, really, and just slowly chipping away, growing organically, and doing some amazing work, and at the same time continually upskilling, so training in digital PR, training in digital marketing, bringing in people who have those skills as well, and combining something that we can think about putting clients or brands audiences first, and being able to tell the right story at the right place at the right time.
Wow, what a story. That's very inspiring, Celia. It really is. Cool to hear what you've built and how, and I love that you just said you just knew you couldn't have the break in between, you just had to leap straight into it and look where it's led you. So congratulations. It's really, really exciting to hear. I would love to hear what a day in the life of Celia looks like.
It's not that exciting. Well, on a morning that it's not raining, I'll get up at 5:45 and go for an hour-long walk with a friend just down the road, and we've been walking buddies, and it keeps us going. So we walk the Millennium Track or Mount Iron in Wanaka, and then that's the exercise done for the day. Come home, get ready for work, get the children ready, and take them to school. And then we go to the office, meet the team. We would have either team meetings, brainstorm meetings, creative, trying to get the working on projects that, whether it's beyond the brief sort of meeting that we might have, or just working away on a particular project. A lot of client communication, a lot of meetings, and that might be in the office here, or it might be going to be out there, either in Queenstown or in Wanaka, or online. I finish at 3, and our clients know that, but they know that we're, in communications and in the media industry, you always have to be on, and that's okay. I just, I manage. I'm happen to be okay at multitasking, so I can, I pick up the children at 3 o'clock. I take every day they've got something on, so I'm a taxi driver, running them around. And then if I have to take client phone calls in between, or respond to emails, then I do that. And then once the kids are home, I'm making dinner. My husband has a busy job. He's a deputy principal at Mount Mowing College, so he's often home late as well. And so I cook dinner. I get the kids organised for bed, and then I generally do the dishes after that, once they're in bed, and then I go back to work. So I do some long hours, but I make sure that the family time is also prioritised, which I'm proud to say that I can get it done, but it does mean that I do find that I take on a bit too much sometimes, and burn out, and not burn out, but you do find moments where you just a little bit, you find it hard. Yeah, totally. Yeah. But then you have a great day the next day, and you think, well, that wasn't so bad. And do it all again. Yeah, and you must love what you do, and so that's worth doing. I love that. That's really cool, really insightful, actually. What's one thing you wish you knew at the start of your career, and in this case, business journey? That's a really hard one, because I knew I wanted to be a journalist at 16. Yeah. I never intended on owning my own business. And even I found moving into communications and PR really challenging as a journo. So I guess also it's really hard to say, because digital has changed the media landscape so much, the media industry. Yeah, true. So, when I first started out, I received press releases by snail mail or fax. And so things, in terms of advice to pass on, or things to say from where I've gone with my career, it is a challenging one. I guess my big thing has always been about striving to be the best that I can be. And someone said to me once, just recently, actually, Claudia McDonald from Mango Communications, she's one of my heroes in the PR industry. And I remember I had dinner with her recently in Auckland, and she said, how do you know when you've reached your success? How do you know when you've got there? And it's a really good question. I haven't figured out the answer yet, but I think, just going back to your question, one thing I knew, or one thing I could be, advice that I could give myself, if we were to reframe the question a little bit, it would be around being kinder to myself. Yeah, that's great advice. Yeah, it touches on sort of different themes that you've said throughout this conversation, but being kinder on yourself, and that imposter syndrome is an interesting balance, isn't it? Because it can take over. And you're not the only one. Imposter syndrome comes up in many of my conversations with sort of anyone that you can think of from all walks of life, and just being kind to yourself is just such a key. Going, okay, am I treating myself how I would treat others in the same situation, is such a key. So really great advice, Celia. Thanks for that. Thanks. Awesome. What's been a highlight moment, and also a challenge from the journey so far, and maybe any learnings from those? We've got a couple of recent highlights.
Yeah, cool.
So we just a couple of weeks ago we won Best Small to Medium PR Consultancy of the Year in New Zealand. So
Wow.
we're really stoked with that, and that's through the Public Relations Institute of New Zealand, and that's their industry awards. Awesome. It's one we never entered before. We knew we wanted to. The timing needed to be right, and yeah, I think it's just been amazing to get that. It's a huge accolade, and the team is absolutely stoked. We're thrilled to bits with that one. So and it means a lot, and I guess it sort of it validates what we do, and it also helps us boost our own confidence. Yeah. We won a silver award at the Prezzies. It's the Communications Council. At the end of last year for a pretty cool campaign that we did for Queenstown Lakes District Council and the Economic Development Unit there. So that was around try to encourage talent to come to the district, but really meaningful and telling stories of people who'd walked the path, and it was part of what it centered on was case studies of real people who were inspirational and doing some amazing things here. So that would be a couple of absolute highlights. Another one would be moving into our office last year after working from home for 8 years. Challenges. I think at the moment the big thing for me is I'm trying to its capacity is a big issue, and knowing when to take that step to invest in another person and to help assist with the growth of the business. But I feel like I'm on this tipping point at the moment, which I haven't been able to get past, and COVID has certainly been a handbrake in that regard. But I think once I get through that and to the other side, then things will be good.
Yeah, that's a fantastic answer. Nice. Really wanted to ask this question around your industry, a common myth about your industry that you want to debunk.
Yeah, that's a good one. So the public relations industry is often criticised by some as it being in the business of spin, where people supposedly twist facts, or we're the gatekeepers of information. However, most practitioners are absolutely committed to our industry code of ethics, which we all subscribe to. And that involves around declaring conflicts of interest, providing transparent and honest information to audiences and to clients. We're not just, another myth is we're not just wordsmiths, or I guess I've heard also someone's likened, us generally in marketing as in the colouring in department, and it's but all of those terms really are a bit insulting. I mean, we're all qualified. There was one industry leader recently said, you wouldn't, say that about your doctor or your lawyer or that sort of thing. So, I mean, as communications professionals, we're strategic thinkers, and we're trusted advisors for brands to safeguard reputations, ultimately.
Yeah, absolutely. Great answer. And the Icehouse has another podcast called A Seat at the Table, which has conversations with some really incredible business leaders talking about community and diversity. And one of the conversations we had with Pip Simeon, who used to be head of marketing for Microsoft and now Vista Group, was around giving marketing a seat at the table, and just really interesting chats with her around, people calling it the colouring in department and different things like that. And just raising, I guess, awareness of how important communications and PR and marketing really is to the future of business. So really interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, we're not that great at sort of doing PR on ourselves and showing the value that we bring. It's always a challenge, and I know it's a challenge across the industry. But, having that seat at the table is crucial, especially for, bigger organisations where you've got different departments. And if you don't bring your comms into the C-suite, it can be detrimental.
Yeah, make or break, 100%. Where do you recommend business owners start in their digital media journey? It's an interesting one. Business owners can get a little overwhelmed by what this can mean for them. Any thoughts on that one?
Yeah, it's a really good question. It's a tricky answer. So
yeah,
for me personally, and I try to impart this to clients as well, is a skill if you can really think about, and it's not just digital, it's everything to do with your marketing toolkit, but the ability to understand how to tell a story and how that story needs to be told to your audiences is really key. And I guess that's why we do have trained journalists on our team. The skill is not an easy one to pick up, but a good place to start is to think about your audience, and you put yourself in their shoes, a bit like the treat yourself as, how you'd like to be treated by others. So put yourself in their shoes, and what are their needs, wants, and fears, and then think about how your story relates to that. So yes, from a digital media point of view, that's content that you can create from an owned perspective. That just further to that, another piece of advice we always give our clients is for them to consider themselves as their own publishing house. So using your website as your key strategic asset for marketing and publishing content on there, and optimizing it for search terms, keywords, and creating content basically to help you get found online in a Google search. Probably a bit of it's not the greatest, potentially the greatest answer, but hopefully there might be some help there.
No, absolute gold, real practical. What you're saying too, people can actually implement that and have a think about how it can integrate into what they're currently doing, what they can start doing. So yeah, that's great. When did you first hear of the Icehouse and the Leadership Development Program? Because you've just finished that program earlier this year. I'd love to hear how that all came about.
I'd heard about the Icehouse for a long time, but I didn't really know too much about it actually, and just that was on my radar. And I knew that you guys did cool stuff, but it really, what came across my inbox was an email from Te Puni Kōkiri, and I'm Ngāi Tahu, and I was able to get there was a scholarship that I applied for to be a recipient of, or to put money to go towards, and then I paid the rest to be part of the leadership development program. So yeah, for hats off to Te Puni Kōkiri for giving me the opportunity. I'm truly grateful.
Incredible. I love hearing that, and an incredible scholarship and opportunity that they've helped provide. So incredibly thankful for the partnership with them. How have you made any changes or implemented anything into your business and your lifestyle since doing the program?
Yeah, I have my little book.
Yes, awesome.
Everyone knew in the cohort that I was the geek that wrote down all that. There's so much material in the course that I have taken away, and we were also working on, as part of my project, the timing was perfect because we did a lot of a review of our own strategic positioning, our branding, and that's still a work in progress, but we've defined our purpose better, and our culture, our values, and we've established our vision and the strategy to fit in with that. So the timing of that was great, and all the course notes relating to customer experience or customer-led growth, strategic planning, culture. I mean, even things in the communications sector I found on branding and how to communicate, and just so valuable, and it just giving us helping us to give a good picture of the business, understanding where we're at in our matrix of, we don't want to be in the country club zone, we want to be in the high learning zone, and it's there's so much, honestly. It has been truly a profound experience for me, and I highly recommend it.
Yeah, that's so cool to hear. Anything from a lifestyle perspective that you've shifted since the program? Maybe balance or resilience or anything that's sprung up to
Yeah,
your
yeah.
sense?
I think it's still a work in progress, but I do feel this year, as difficult as it has been, with just sort of like, I feel like I'm constantly wading through a river and
Mm,
not getting to the other side when we can see the goal. And but at the same time, we've had some really big wins this year, so it's been cool. But I think just helping me as a guide, and being able to just think, yeah, we've got this. We are a really solid team, and
mm,
and helping me grow confidence as a leader and the skills to lead the team. And from a
mm,
personal point of view, yeah, I mean, it's definitely been that confidence side of things.
mm.
um, and the 360s, the personal
Yeah.
profile and the team 360s have been wonderful. Yeah, it's always things that you can think about how you can work on to improve yourself, improve your performance,
Mm.
as a business and as an individual.
Completely. Yeah, the confidence, absolute key. Hearing when business owners and leaders finish up program and say, yeah, I've got confidence because I know what I'm good at or where my weaknesses are, or yeah, how I lead. It's really, really important. So good to hear.
I have to say also the team bonding and
Yes.
the exercises at the start of the course. We had such an amazing cohort. Everyone was awesome, and
Cool.
it's just, is a truly memorable experience. And we keep in touch through our WhatsApp group.
Mm.
We were, at the end we paired off, and we do connect. One of the cohort and we catch up every couple of weeks, or at least once a month, and
Cool.
just bounce ideas off each other. We talk about the highlights, lowlights of the week, and just it's a little bit more of a another cheerleader to your team. That's been really cool.
Absolutely. Yeah. Community that comes from it.
Mm.
It's so, so cool to see and such a massive part of the Icehouse.
Yeah, and these guys are all seriously amazing leaders in their own right. Working for big global companies, or and the stories that are about these businesses that started in New Zealand, but they're doing incredible things across the globe, and these people are all having an amazing part to play in that company growth. That's really cool to be able to meet these people and learn from them as well.
Totally. People you probably wouldn't meet
Mm-hmm.
otherwise. So, and from different industries, yet how cool that even though different industries, a lot of similar challenges and wins and, things along the way that you can pass on to each other. So I think that's, the beauty of community and the programs, I think. So yeah, very cool to hear. Nice. Was it different to what you were expecting, the whole experience?
I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
I guess I thought I was going to probably learn a little bit about what it takes to be a good leader, sort of softer skills that, are just part of a package, and to advance your own leadership career, whether that's in governance or whether that's, leading a team. I
Yeah.
genuinely didn't know, and I didn't give it too much thought. When I arrived, I was in the what program was it? The
46.
Yes, but
Yeah.
it was the managers program as opposed to the
Oh, the
owner
owner
managers.
managers program.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did question. I did question why I wasn't with the owner managers, but then I got told that's because of the turnover
Oh,
aspect.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
company's just not there yet. So
Yeah. Get being
we'll
keyword.
get there.
Yeah, totally.
Um,
It's coming.
yeah, but yeah, I mean, I have no regrets because I learned so much about departments, about and I'm told that the owner managers do go through the same sort of process.
Yes.
So, the financial challenge was definitely one of the highlights, because you build your team together and you're working. I'm super competitive, so and so you're just energized by the people around you, and who are all amazing in their own sort of departmental skills, really. And so it's a bit like you are running a business for a day, even if it is a pretend, but yeah.
That is so cool. I love that. It sounds fun. What's one thing you are committed to doing in future to support your business and personal growth?
I'm an avid learner, so I guess professional development is something that I've always done and I'll always continue to do. But I guess from taking away, working on the business, taking time to work on the business, is really important. And I've all my notes suggest that, and I've got a lot of things to carry on working on.
Yeah, great.
So it's just and being the best person I can be, and leading the team and creating a really strong culture, which I'm pretty confident we have here anyway. But it's just going on to do bigger and better things.
Yeah, exciting. That sounds really cool. And a good sort of segue to my last question, which is, what does the future look like for Scope Media?
Ideally, would grow the team. We've got space here in our office to be able to do that. Grow our client portfolio, and really to keep on doing work that positively impacts communities is really important to us. So, inspirational work, or just really, really cool projects that we can do that utilizes our skill sets, and being able to put being innovative in the way we do work. And help that for the client's benefit. The other thing, obviously, is winning awards. So we would like to keep on getting more recognition for what we do. We know we punch out above our weight in down the south, down here in Wanaka and the Southern Lakes region and Lower South Island. But just wanting to show that we can do it down here, even though we're not in Auckland.
Yeah, completely agree, and absolutely cheering you and the team on, Celia. Just so cool to see what you do. Your website is phenomenal. It is really beautiful and a great user experience. So congrats even on that.
Thanks. So we're actually getting a new one, so hopefully it'll be even better, and
cool.
A video and everything as well. So.
Awesome. I love that, and I love seeing websites develop. But yeah, it's a really cool experience jumping on there and sort of learning more about what you guys do at Scope Media, and having this conversation has really unpacked that too. And your journey is really inspirational. So thank you for being real with us, and looking forward to seeing the journey of Scope Media unfold. So thanks for being on the podcast.
Thank you so much, Bryar.